To me, rock is based on kick and snare. It's this. When I hear a lot of rock players try to play jazz, they think, oh, it's jazz, so I got to be really light on the cymbal. Jazz, you know, and it's like way out of balance. With jazz, it's the ride cymbal that leads the way, and the bass drum and snare drum are like salt and pepper. A lot of rock players, I've heard a lot of jazz players trying to play rock, and they're so heavy-handed. Rock starts from the bass drum. Bop, you know, so they'll play really heavy-handed, but there's no kick and snare, and it'll sound like this. It's got to be, you know. Name that song. That's right. Back in black, hit the sack. So they really do relate.
How many coffees did you have today?
I've had 6. But each one of them was a quad espresso.
No
So that's 24. 6 times 4. I never liked math, but I think it's 24.
Okay, funk. Or
Funk.
Power feel.
Okay, so who's heard out there of the great Cuban originator of Songo, Changuito? Jose Luis Quintana. He came to Los Angeles and gave some lessons 20 years ago. Carlos Vega and I, a bunch of us were taking lessons from him. And he is the guy that took an electronic, I think it was a Simmons kit that somebody had left over in Cuba. And he's standing up playing timbales. And he kicks the bass drum. And some toms. Starts playing some kick drum and these salsa grooves, right? Lo and behold, I love when people say that. That kind of just sums it up and lets you know that something's coming. Lo and behold, in his Cuban dialect, zero English, he says David Garibaldi. I go, Changuito's a David Garibaldi guy. He's a Tower of Power guy. And so he says, too many American drummers think that this is Songo. He literally went like this. Like, that is not Cuban Songo. That's a pattern. That's like a jazz guy playing a pattern. Like, this is jazz. Better do traditional grip. That's not jazz. Jazz is about improvising and spang, spang, a lang, sang, soon, gotta. Yeah. So Changuito says, Changuito, movement number 1. And he plays this funk groove, linear funk kind of Tower of Power inspired groove in clave that he came up with. So it's a 2-3 clave. Like this kind. It's a 2-3 clave. But the groove he plays, it's Tower of Power. So, Jared, if you could do a 2-3 clave for me. 1. Just keep that going. And I'm going to play this funk groove, and you're going to hear the clave in it. That groove right there that Jared's clapping, that's a 2-3 rumba clave, and that's a linear funk groove, linear meaning not everything hitting at the same time. And that was his Havana, Cuba, Afro-Cuban groove mixed in with Tower of Power. That's how they're related.
That's really cool. I've never heard that before.
I never had until I took a lesson with him, and it was just eye-opening, really eye-opening.